Breaking news, the Atlanta Falcons have been linked to a massive trade that could land them their star edge of the future. In this video, I'm going to break down why or what I'm hearing about this. Who is this elite player and how can this player impact the Atlanta Falcons? Now, for you, those who don't know, Terry Fontenot had a presser today to discuss his, I would say, strategy, so to speak, going into the draft that is tomorrow. Now, I was just going to make a video talking about things he said in the presser, but something came out huge that I have to drill down on and specify and let you all know. Now, I wanted to read you a couple tweets and a couple things that make me believe that the Atlanta Falcons are maybe making a huge move to get a premier edge rusher. And that edge rusher that I'm talking about is Abdul Carter. Now, for those looking and saying, okay, how can the Atlanta Falcons have to get Abdul Carter? They would have to probably move up to the third pick to get him. And there you go. Boom. A lot of people are saying that the Atlanta Falcons could be someone to watch to move up to the third pick with the trade with the New York Giants to get Abdul Carter, an edge player that they desperately need, and the edge player that could be on the same trajectory as Micah Parsons. Now, moving on, let me tell you some Easter eggs that Terry Fontenot planted today, show you some tweets on why I believe this, and what all this means going forward. Now, the big thing today, Terry Fontenot reiterated that we have to make this team better. You can see in the tweet by the Atlanta Falcons, quoting Terry Fontenot, that says, we have to take an impact player. That is basically saying we have to take a player that will impact the team today. We cannot take project players. And he said that straight from his mouth today. So, check. That means they have to really evaluate players that can help them right now. And Abdul Carter is a player that you can plug and play, and he would be a player that will help benefit them right now as well. Also, Jalen Walker will be that guy as well. But sights are focused on Abdul Carter. Now, continuing on about what is leading me to believe that the Atlanta Falcons may trade up. Basically, Terry Fontenot also said in his presser, and I'll show you this tweet by Orlando Ledbetter, GM Terry Fontenot on the eve of the NFL draft, we're going to make this team better. He's always talking about making this team better right now, and Abdul Carter can say that. Now, moving on, the big kind of eye-raising moment that I saw was a mock draft posted by Jay Gruden that basically says it's the clean pocket mock draft. And if you look at this mock draft, who do you notice at pick number 3? The Atlanta Falcons selecting edge Abdul Carter from Penn State. That means the Atlanta Falcons would have to move up 12 spots with the New York Giants to secure an edge player that could be on the Atlanta Falcons for the next 10 years, which is huge. Now, some of you are saying, okay, let's just say if this happens, what would the trade look like for Abdul Carter? And to that, I would say, I got you, because here's what it was. Carrie, I think she's a beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons. Basically, she says this. Here are the trade details. Atlanta gets the 3rd overall pick, which will allow them to get Abdul Carter. And then they get the 4th round pick, which is the 105th overall. They would in turn send New York the 15th overall pick, a 2nd round pick, which is a 46 overall, a 2026 first, and a 2026 third, which is a massive haul. But if the Atlanta Falcons feel that Abdul Carter is the next Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, giving up all that trade capital is something that they would be willing to do to secure a 10-plus sack guy for the next 5 years. And we know Terry Fontenot is getting, I hate to say he's getting desperate, but he knows if he doesn't make a massive move right now, that he will be out of a job next year, and he has to get a player that is good. Because if he strikes out on a player, that is probably a telltale sign that he will not return next year. Now, also, Orlando Ledbetter also mentioned this Abdul Carter trade, and he basically says this. So, did he tip off the trade up to get Abdul Carter right there? And he's referencing Terry Fontenot today, talking about how they are basically tracking the previous GMs and how they operate during the draft. So We're tracking which GMs will trade up, which GMs are trading back, which GMs are conservative, which GMs are aggressive. And in reference to himself, he says, I'm 75% trade up, so I'm more aggressive. That is Terry Fontenot calling himself an aggressive GM. That, to me, I know Orlando is kind of reaching, but that also, to me, means Terry Fontenot knows what kind of GM he is, and if asked or if pressed, he would lean toward being aggressive in the draft. Does this mean he's getting Abdul Carter? No, but there's been small rumblings such as some beat writers kind of reporting it a little bit. It's out on mock drafts. This is the first time I've seen the Atlanta Falcons mocked to get Abdul Carter. When you start to see rumblings right before the NFL draft, those tend to be the way that the draft turns. We didn't hear much about Michael Penix until really the last day, and then boom, right before it, they drafted Michael Penix. I'm not saying the Atlanta Falcons are 100% certain drafting Abdul Carter, but there is possibilities. And this is leaning more and more toward the idea that the Atlanta Falcons want to get aggressive and get a big draft. They want to draft a big-time edge to help this team going forward. And then really quickly on New York side, why would they move back? I think they legit want Shedeur Sanders, and I think they can't justify selecting him at number 3. Shedeur will definitely be there at 15. They're like, let's get some capital, and we'll get our guy. So, at the end of the day, do the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to get Abdul Carter? Yes. It's also been rumored that both the Giants and the Browns are interested in moving back. And do I see Terry Fontenot making a huge time move to save his job and get a pass rusher, something that they haven't gotten in the last 5 years? Yes. And all this together, plus the little rumors and rumblings right before the draft, leads me to believe this is a possibility. And if the Atlanta Falcons, I know they're giving up a ton, but just think about Abdul Carter right now. If you're able to plug him in with Leonard Floyd and some of the other guys that they have on this team goes from barely making the playoffs to being a really, really, really solid contender in the NFC. But if you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you would draft Abdul Carter if you're Atlanta Falcons and give up that haul. I personally would, but a lot of people are saying they would rather have 3 or 4 tier B guys than 1 tier A guy. I say give me that tier A guy, and we'll figure it out from there. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always,